Hey you, I'm Sarah Turner, freelance medical copywriter and copywriting mentor, and today I want to talk to you about when and how you raise your rates as a copywriter. So a couple things I want to touch on is one, I really want to encourage you to incorporate mindset work into your daily routine, because something I've noticed is that self-worth, and then imposter syndrome, which is like kind of feeling like a fraud, all these different things can kind of influence what you charge as an entrepreneur. And so I think it's really important to be sure that you're working on, negative self-talk, self-limiting beliefs, things like that, because it can really, really hold you back. It's definitely the most important work I've done as an entrepreneur. The other thing is keep in mind that you are no longer trading time for money. And I think that's super important because that can be really difficult for people coming from the 9-to-5 world where you're getting paid an hourly rate. But at the end of the day, when you're a copywriter, you should be getting paid based on what you are delivering in terms of value to your client. And so that's going to improve and grow as you become more experienced. So when you're starting out, you might charge a lower rate to gain experience, to build that portfolio, to start a relationship with a new client, to build rapport. So you don't want to start off like charging expert prices. That's not how this works. Really, you want to be charging based on the value that you bring your client and your client's business. And now when you're a copywriter and you are, writing copy on things like Facebook ads or landing pages where there are direct conversions, and you can say like, this copy brought you X number of dollars in sales. That is an opportunity for you to charge well, because you are, helping them grow their business, helping them reach new audiences. Just keep in mind that your work is really based on the value it brings your client and not your time. So as you become more experienced, as you build your portfolio, as you earn more testimonials, as you have case studies and you have, numbers and conversions to back up your skill set as a copywriter, you can increase your rates. Now, here are a few things that, might help when you're first starting out. So one thing that is just a really simple thing to do is when right around the fall every year, I would raise my rates when I was first starting out, because to me, that was a really simple and less intimidating way to, go to clients that were current and existing and say, hey, it's that time of year, just kind of not making a big deal of it. These are my rates for the next year. And a couple of things might happen. One, they might say, oh, okay, well, with these increased rates, I'm going to maybe pull back on the amount of items that I request from you. And that's okay, Another thing is that might happen is they'll say nothing, and they'll say that is like ideal, right? That they are like, okay, yeah. That means that they really think that your work is worth it. The other thing might happen is they might say, oh, okay, well then we need to part ways. And that is okay too, because here's the thing. When you raise your rates as a copywriter, you are, you're valuing your time more, your work is, you should also have the, experience to kind of back up the fact that you're raising your rates. Don't just do it arbitrarily, but you are saying that you are going to focus on clients that are a better fit for you and kind of letting go of people who are not as good for you, which might mean a lower paying client. And when you do that, it can be scary when you're first starting out. I went through this myself, but keep in mind that you are then freeing up that space for somebody who is potentially a better fit for you and willing to pay your rates. And this whole process is a good indicator that you are charging what your clients and you think your writing is worth. So if you have people who are saying, okay, no problem, totally worth it, that's a really good thing. That means that you are, well within your right to charge a little more for what you're doing. If people pull back on the amount of pieces and things that they need from you, that's okay too. Don't panic when that happens. The other thing that I want to say is a good indicator of whether or not it's a good idea to raise your rates is how big is your client load. I would not recommend raising your rates if you don't have a full client load. So that is why it might be a good idea to charge a little bit lower. But again, not selling yourself short, not charging rock bottom prices that you see on Upwork, but charging a lower rate to fill up your client load and then really build that relationship with those clients so that, they see the value in what you bring. You build rapport, you build a relationship, you have, you have an ongoing client interaction. So they're like, this person is reliable, I enjoy working with them, like all the benefits that come from that, right? So when you fill up your client load, and that's the other thing, is you want to make sure that you are able to do so. So again, I really recommend cold emailing. I really recommend, LinkedIn and Facebook groups for finding clients. And once you start realizing that you have a reliable way to bring in clients, and you fill up that client load, and then you start raising your prices, the lower paying clients will trickle off. And here's another thing I want to add is I always, if a client and I decide we're not going to work together anymore, I always make sure that I give them a solution or someone else. So maybe I'll recommend a different copywriter, or I'll say what is it that you need? Let me help you figure out what your next steps are. I never leave a client hanging because I want them to walk away thinking that it was a really positive experience working for me. So anyway, so when you are raise your rates and some of the lower paying clients trickle off, and you might have some space in your schedule, to bring on some newer high paying clients, it can be a really scary thing, but it's really making space in your life for people and, and income that is a better fit for you. And that's the thing that I really want to touch on, because people, especially newbies that are starting out, get so scared to do that because they think that they're losing income. But usually if you have all your systems in place, you know how to bring out new clients, you're actually making your per hour rate, higher. And so that means you have more time in your day to maybe earn higher paying clients, and things like that. And basically that is how you build a business that is sustainable, where you're not always burnt out. And with all of this in mind, I just want to say it's really important to have, these prices in your mind. I often tell people to have a secret hourly rate that they, keep in the back of their mind. It's not how you charge your clients, but it's something that you have in the back of your mind based on how much money you want to earn per month, how much money you want to earn per day, so that when clients come around that are not within that that hourly rate, or just basically within your goal structure, you say no, and to say no because they don't fit into your goals and dreams for yourself. Because that saying no to the clients that are not fitting into what you really want to create, is one of the most important lessons I've learned as a copywriter. So I know it can be really counterintuitive to say no to new clients when you are just really trying to earn more money and, make it work as a copywriter. But I promise you, it is one of the best things you can do, is to make sure that you keep a laser sharp focus on the clients that bring meaning to your business, as well as pay you what your work is worth. So I hope this helps. More than anything, I just want to keep writers from getting taken advantage of. And if this helped, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Share with me in the comments anything that this brought up for you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys.